Hey everybody, thank you for joining us for another DCEU discussion. I'm Seth, and I'm joined by Trevor, Maggie, and David from Synthaholics. And we are talking about the state of the ever-shifting, the daily metamorphosizing state of the DC Extended Universe. So, most recently, Ben Affleck has dropped out of directing the Batman solo movie, and now there's a lot of rumors flying around that he just wants out of the role entirely. I know personally, for me, if that it isn't completely surprising, given how things have gone, sad Affleck memes, and just things not going as Ben Affleck thought they would. I feel like him leaving the role entirely could be what kind of sinks the DCEU, but what do you guys think about this?
This video feels exactly like the video that we just recorded. Like somebody's leaving and then they also...
That's because that's just what's been happening.
Yeah, I know. That's just... I guess it's just the dragon that is DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't necessarily like him in the role as Batman. I didn't really see him as...
Oh, really?
I thought that he was a very good... Bruce Wayne. I didn't really think he was a very good Batman. Maybe that was just like the directing or something like that.
Why'd you say that?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just it was weird for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel the same way. That's how I felt like. Now I might get like lampooned for this, but I liked Christian Bale's Batman and hated his Bruce Wayne. So
yeah, really. I
it's like
hear people say the opposite.
Feel like
but...
people can't. His Bruce Wayne reminded me of his like American Psycho, but less smiley. It was just weird to me. I don't like him
because he was a character. He was playing the character of like the not being like a psychopathic like rampage monster like Patrick Bateman and American Psycho, but being like a privileged douche. So yeah, I actually really liked his Bruce Wayne, specifically in Batman Begins, but. What about you, Dave?
I hated the idea of Ben Affleck playing Batman when it was first announced. And I railed against it and I complained about it. But on screen, I thought he did great. I thought Batman was more... I've never seen Batman more brutal, and I thought that was amazing. Especially for how old, Ben Affleck's playing an older version of Batman. So seeing him be that, like, savage... I thought that was amazing. Probably one of my favorite Batman portrayals on the screen. I'm kind of sad that he wants to go, but it just makes me wonder what's happening at DC. Why is it so bad to work for them so that he's like, I don't even want to do this anymore? And the reason he took on the role of Daredevil way back when was because he never thought he'd have the opportunity to play Batman. Well, lo and behold, he's Batman, and now he wants out. What?
Yeah. So, I personally really liked him in the role as well. But, yeah, there seems to have been definitely an issue with how the higher-ups are handling this universe about how they will make something. They want to, have each movie kind of be a director's own vision, but then they, like, kind of panic in the last minute. Like Suicide Squad, David Ayer, well, they kind of made David Ayer rush a script out, and then they kind of... It was coming along as like somewhat more of a dark movie with like maybe like black humor in there, but then it ended up being recut into like this something that was like half like DC's Guardians of the Galaxy and then half something else. So yeah, there does seem to be an issue with directors leaving the DCEU because that's like you said, that's what's been happening all the time. The Flash, how many potential directors has the Flash had?
3 writers so far.
Yeah,
and one's a charm maybe.
And they, since Affleck dropped out of directing Batman, they were talking to Matt Reeves, who directed one of the new Planet of the Apes movies, and Cloverfield.
I think he just dropped out.
And he did. Talks just broke down there. There is one... I have a potential future of the DCEU that it could be... since it seems like the Batman might not be the saving grace that they wanted to, I'm curious. The only DC movie that we know of that's in production that there hasn't been, like... constant rumors of strife behind the scenes is Aquaman. Aquaman has had James Wan signed on forever, and I'm not aware of any like dropout with writers. They've been slowly adding people to the cast. What if that's the one movie that comes together and that like is like a sleeper hit that like strikes a chord with the audience,
That
Like,
would be
wouldn't that be
something.
weird?
That would be
Because then it would be
hilarious.
like with Marvel, like when they did Iron Man, and that was the one everybody loved. Iron Man kind of became like the unofficial leader of the Avengers, even though he wasn't really in the comics. What if like people like all of a sudden love Aquaman, and Aquaman like finally has his like time in the sun, and the Aquaman becomes like becomes like the de facto leader of the Justice League because he's the one's like audiences.
That would be so hilarious.
That would just be I'm just curious. I think it's kind of doubtful because at this point the entire DC universe is kind of in a. It seems like it could go belly up at any moment, but aside from the movies that are already in production, like Wonder Woman and Justice League and all that, but it just makes me wonder. Aquaman, haven't heard anything negative about it.
Has Justice League had a lot of reshoots done to it? I haven't read anything myself, but doesn't necessarily.
Well,
I don't think so.
Not that I'm aware of. We haven't been hearing much about it. It's coming out this fall. We haven't really gotten an official trailer. We just got the one Comic-Con trailer. That movie was in post-production when Jeff Johns became in charge of kind of the DC movies. So it wouldn't surprise me if Justice League had some weird kind of a tonal shift from reshoots the way that Suicide Squad did. Hopefully, it's less kind of egregious than how Suicide Squad turned out with those. But where would you guys like to see the Suicide or the DCEU go from here? Do you want to see it continue? Do you want to see it progress and to be something different, or do you just want to see it start over? What do you guys want out of this?
I mean, I think what you mentioned about, the potential of Aquaman saving the franchise. I mean, you never know. If a movie is good, like a good movie, like with a good script and a solid cast, even if they're not necessarily the Avengers is like they're all Oscar-winning, it's A-list actors.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily need that. If the movie can hold its own and the script is good and you got a couple people in it that maybe people know, and just as long as the people can act and there's good communication, like you said, it could be a sleeper hit and maybe that would save it. But if it needs to do a complete full 180 and really bring itself out of the ground, it can't keep trailing on like this because people are going to get irritated.
Yes.
Like they already are.
Yeah.
It gets old.
Even me, I'm like, more optimistic than most when it comes to certain things, and I really like Batman v Superman. But even with me, Suicide Squad was supposed to be that saving grace, and then directors dropping out every other week, and I'm just like, I'm getting kind of pessimistic about it. But what about you, Trevor, David? What would you guys want to see happen from here?
As of right now, I mean, there's so many other movies that I'm interested in that I don't focus on DC that much. Like Thor Ragnarok is one of the big movies that I am excited to see. Yeah. Especially because I haven't read a lot of the comics, but from what I've heard, that's a really awesome Planet Hulk and all that kind of stuff is a huge storyline too. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. DC is just kind of. I was getting very excited, especially when they said that there was going to be a Justice League movie. But now I'm just kind of trying to stay away from all that kind of news.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about you, David?
I almost kind of wish they'd start over at this point and do it the Marvel way, slow and steady. I feel the worst part of what's making DC movies so bad right now is we're 5 years late to the party. We got to force everything to happen now. And I think that unorganic way that they're doing it is ruining their films. Start over with a clean slate. Let Wonder Woman be your first movie.
Yeah.
Because it's set in World War One. I don't know if it's going to have present time scenes that tie to be a Batman or Superman, but
probably. It's the last one before Justice League, so I'd imagine there would be some kind of tie-in.
But if they kept it in completely World War One, let that be its first standalone movie, then build the universe that way, all on top of Wonder Woman. That's what I would do at this point. I'm sure they sunk too much money to.
Yeah, that's the thing. At this point, they might have to do basically kind of like a soft reboot where it still is the same characters and it's in the same chronology, but they kind of Superman's going to come back from the dead for Justice League, and they can have that be an excuse to be this is the tonal shift of Superman being less serious and more more lighthearted and hopeful and Captain America-like.
Yeah.
And if Batman gets recasted, then that could be. Like you said, I like that version of Batman, so I don't really want him. I want him to be brutal and sadistic. So
Yes.
we'll see, but our conversation will continue as the DCEU continues to bob and weave through these murky waters it's in at the moment. But thank you for joining us, and thank you to all of you. Where can we find each of you guys on Twitter?
Trevor_White_.
Okay. Are you sure there's not another underscore in there?
I'm going to try and add, like, after every letter an underscore.
Okay.
So then I just spell it out.
Just to make it easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Maggie,
super
what about
annoying. At MaggieWorth11. No underscores.
All right.
And I'm at David_J_Duncan.
Okay. I'm at _cap_Amera_can_ski_ at Twitter_.com.
Underscore.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned to the Geekiverse for all your DCEU coverage.